Hoy, kamusta? Ako nga pala si Sean Peregrina ng Group 4 from DMed 1A. Ano bang pag-uusapan natin ngayon? Aba, ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay ang pros and cons ng workplace romance. Kaya ano pang hinihintay natin? Tara, kantuhan tayo.
Pero teka, ano nga ba meaning ng workplace romance? So according to Pierce and Aguinis, they define a workplace romance as a primarily sexual relationship between two members of the same organization. Other researchers define such a relationship as two employees who acknowledge their mutual attraction, have dated, and or have had sex with one another. In both views, mutual attraction is the basis of workplace romance.
The COVID-19 pandemic saw a rise in workplace romances that has remained steady over the past year. A new survey from Society of Human Resource Management found that a third of U.S. workers report that they are currently involved in workplace romance, 6% higher than before COVID-19 pandemic, which is 27%. With 50% of workers reporting they have crushed on a co-worker, workplace romances aren't anomaly. In fact, 3/4 of US workers said that they are comfortable with people at their workplace being involved in workplace romance, and more than a quarter of US workers, which is 26%, are currently open to being involved in a workplace romance. Most of the studies concerning workplace romance has only been conducted in the US. So we decided to conduct short interviews and surveys among ourselves and our peers just to have an overview of workplace romance in the Philippines. Here are the videos of the short interviews that have been conducted.
Hi, I'm Ina and I will be discussing the fourth part of our presentation. So, what do people really think about office or class romance? So, this is the opinion of the 31 people that we interviewed. Let's go! So, before we get to the main questions, so kilalanin muna natin sino ba yung mga respondents natin. So, for the biggest part of our respondents, so the she or her, so that's 54.8%. Sila yung mga girls or ladies or women. So yung second largest part is the he or him. So yung mga gents natin or yung males. And yung ating minority, they are those who prefer not to state their gender. So they prefer to be neutral. So for the first question, I look for love at work or class. So mas malaking percentage yung nag-disagree, like half. So meron naman tayong sobrang disagree, like 30%. So the most memorable sentiment was, I don't go looking for love. It just comes and I just fall in love. That's it. I don't plan for it. So that's very nice because I think they are also open to like spontaneous experiences, and meron namang iba na nag-agree, so that's 20%. So they said love can be anywhere or inspiration. So minsan, so we are always in the class or work setting, so doon na lang tayo maghahanap ng pwede nating maging, love interest. So for the next question, I feel comfortable and open with being more than friends towards a classmate or workmate. So, ang pinakamalaking portion is agree dito. So, agree, pero only to a certain degree, as long as it's not a manager or subordinate situation at work. So, agree pa rin, pero syempre we have to provide limits, di ba? So, the next bigger portion is disagree. So, 40%. So, almost malapit lang dun sa agree. So, according to one person, boundaries will be crossed and it will be detrimental to the profession. So, hindi siya comfortable na maging more than friends with a classmate or workmate. So, meron namang totally ayaw talaga. So, he or she doesn't really just want to complicate things in his or her life. So, that's all. And meron namang totally agree na 3.3%. So for the next scenario or question, I have dated someone at work or in the same class. So, ang pinakamali kong portion is agree. So, mas marami sa respondents namin yung meron ng nakadate or naging boyfriend or girlfriend in the same workplace or class. So, however, this unfortunately, the most of the experiences were not good. So, according to one respondent, it was a mistake and I don't intend to commit again. So, we also have 28%, 23.3% who totally agree. And according to that person, I fell in love with him and he broke me. So again, it's a very sad experience for this person. So meron namang disagree. So wala. Hindi mo sure, no comment. And meron naman totally disagree. So wala talaga. Walang nagkakagusto no gagawin. So ayun. So yun yung sabi ng 16.7% ng responded natin. So next, I have negative perception of workplace or classroom romance. So napakalaki yung disagree. So 50% because they think it's positive because you never know when or where you can find love. So let's just be, optimistic about it. Hindi mo talaga alam kung ano yung pwedeng mangyari. So let's be open to possibilities according to one of our respondents. So meron namang like agree, like they have a negative perception because they feel awkward about it. So meron namang totally agree na 13.3%, totally disagree 13.3%. So love has no boundaries. So next, having couples at office or classroom is uplifting for all staff or classmates. So malaking portion yung nag-agree na they agree that maganda yung may couple sa office or classroom. According to them, it's a kilig factor or maybe a source of comedy. And meron namang iba na walang pake hanggat hindi sila nakakasakit ng ibang tao, di go kung saan sila masaya. 'Di ba? So meron namang nag-disagree pa rin and they preferred not to mention any reason for that. And merong totally agree 10%. For that person, it's an inspiring moment. So it's very inspiring if you see a couple in the same class. And meron namang totally disagree. So they don't like having couples in the classroom or office because he or she will be always reminded that I am single. So ayun, so that's the first part of our survey question. So the next part will be continued by Byron. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc Ina. So to continue, let's talk about the next statement, which is one of the employees should transfer or leave when the romance is over. As you can see on our data gathered, the majority of our respondents disagree to this statement, with 40% totally disagreeing and 43% disagreeing, while only 16% of them agree. The respondents don't see the end of our relationship as the end of everything. They think that professionalism and accountability must take place since they enter the threshold knowing the consequences. Ending a relationship does not mean that they should leave or change careers, since there is more to life than the ended romance between two people. While most disagree, some still think that the past can really hurt and affect them and the people involved, which is why they still advise that one should leave and start anew, and that it is best for both parties as well as the people around them. This next statement is about I don't mind people knowing about my love life. So as you can see in our data, the majority of our respondents agree to this statement, showing more than half of them, or 53% agreeing, and also 10% of them totally agreeing, while only 26% disagreeing and 10% totally disagreeing. During this statement, they see that sharing about their own relationship with others as something that is okay but limited. They are happy to share what they can and still keep what needs to be kept hidden. They still value privacy and they want the relationship to be theirs and that the others should not interfere with nor overstep on them. Sharing about the relationship is okay, but with limitations. This next statement is I don't mind criticisms I get if I engage into a relationship with someone I work with. So as you can see on our graph, also majority of our respondents agree to this statement, with 40% of them agreeing and 26% totally agreeing, while only 26% disagreed and 6% totally disagreed. So, as you can see, these criticisms that comes with engaging in a romantic relationship with a workmate or classmate, and it is only up to the couple on how they will handle them. Most of our respondents would really mind what other people think, and some may even see them as a room for improvement. However, some criticism may be taken negatively and that they bother people from time to time, which is why it is up to them on how they handle it. So this next statement is about I hate giving inside scoops about my love life. So, in this question, most of our respondents agreed, which shows 40% of them agreeing and 23% totally agreeing, and only 32% disagreeing and 3% totally disagreeing. As you can as you can see, they believe that inside scoops are private and privileged information about the relationship, and the respondents don't see it as something that they can share to everyone and only to their most trusted and innermost circle. They see that people should not be let into their relationship and it must be settled by the ones in it, since it is theirs and it does not belong to the people around them. And our last statement is about I prefer to have a relationship outside my block. So in this statement, it is a majority of our respondents totally agreeing with 46% and also agreeing with 46%, while only 6% of them disagreeing. So as you can see, our respondents will still prefer a relationship outside their own block or workplace since it makes things less complicated and there would be lesser tension and awkwardness and that things are less likely to go wrong. They can be more discreet and private, which makes the relationship more intimate and that there is still the separation of work and personal life. Although it is the consensus, some still disagree, since absence makes the heart grow fonder and will make them miss their beloved. So before we conclude, let's talk about the interesting facts about our respondents. So, according to our data, 4 out of 6 of our respondents who looks for love at work or class have dated someone at work or in the same class. 13 out of 9 of the respondents who dated someone at work or in the same class do not mind people knowing about his or her love life. 31% of the people who dated someone at work or in the same class will mind the criticisms once they get into a relationship with someone they work with. And 50% of the people who dated someone at work or in the same class still have a positive perception of workplace or classroom romance. Then also 25% who are uncomfortable having couples at the office or classroom agrees that one of the employees should transfer or leave when the romance is over. And lastly, 89% of the people who dated someone at work or in the same class prefer relationship outside of workplace or classroom.
Part 5 Conclusion. Dating a colleague has both negative and positive impacts to individual. Workplace or class romance could be a source of either distractions or conflict that may affect productivity. When romance is in the workplace or classroom, employee and classmates might experience gossip, love quarrel, and difficulty in balancing individual and couple expectation. On the contrary, if handled properly, it can be an exciting experience that can inspire an individual in their daily life. For example, office or classroom romance can create a positive work culture that enable them to explore and develop strong relationship to each other that will result in productive ambience. A couple must be able to have awareness, sensitivity, and professionalism in order to have harmonious relationship with each other and most importantly with their colleagues and classmates.